how about them Cowboys? I mean, how about them Cowboys? Dallas beats Houston 20-17 in overtime, but they get the win and they start the season 4-1. Man, it's really exciting to really see how good this team is and how good this team can be. It's been a long weekend for me. The way I got to watch this ball game, I've been in Chicago the last 3 days. I flew up there out of Dallas, went to a wedding of a friend of mine. I got back on the plane at O'Hare around 7. I left at 7:30 Sunday morning. Got back to Dallas around 10 o'clock, and then I had to make the 2-hour drive from Dallas back here to East Texas. So I got to listen to Brad Sham and the guys on the radio for the first quarter and a half, and then got to get back in time to watch the rest of it on the air. I really like this football team. Not perfect by any means. This game was not perfect by any means. This game should have been a blowout. The Dallas Cowboys should have ran Houston out of the gym. But when you turn the ball over, and that's the problem I'm going to have with this team right now, is if I'm going to be critical, and because that's the one frustrating thing I have about this ball game was the turnovers. DeMarco dadgummit, man, you're one of the best. You're the best running back right now in the NFL, and you're the main reason this team is doing well with that offensive line. But dadgum, man, we can't have those turnovers in the red zone. We can't keep fumbling. He's got 4 fumbles in 5 games. That can't keep happening. We fumble a punt, and then Tony throws an interception in the red zone as well. I mean, you're taking points off the board. I mean, if those fumbles, if that fumble and interception turned into field goals for the Cowboys, this thing doesn't get into overtime. Dallas wins in regulation. But with all that being said, Dallas is a really good football team. The coaching staff deserves a lot of credit. Rob Marinelli, when it comes to defense, and I keep saying week after week after week that I'm just preparing myself for the shoe to drop on this Dallas defense, and they really just lay an egg like we've been trained to expect the last couple of seasons. Because you look at the roster right now, and there's a lot of injuries, there's a lot of holes in it, there's a lot of no-name dudes. Marinelli's got them bought in to his style of defense, getting in the right place where they're not going to give up that big play. And when it comes to offense, that offensive line, once again for the Dallas Cowboys, has shown that they are worth the return on investment that they paid. Going up against that J.J. Watt-led defensive line, you saw the pressure that the Texans were trying to put on Dallas. This was the best defense that Dallas has played all season. And they were getting pressure, but they never got any free run at Tony. And when J.J. Watt got in the backfield, Romo made a great play, flipping around, finding Terrence Williams in the back end zone for a touchdown. That was really what was. I thought that was going to be play of the night, but man, in overtime, Dez Bryant is one of the best. I can't say he's the best. Calvin Johnson's out there, one of the best receivers out there, and definitely one of the best receivers in Dallas Cowboys history. That play right there, the concentration. It's a combination of a great play, also mixed with a great moment. The Cowboy, it wasn't just a great play during the game; it was a much-needed have-to-have play, and Dez made it there at the end to set up Dan the Man Bailey. If you've got 30 field goals in a row, if you're gonna miss one, 53 yards isn't bad. Dan Bailey is still by far the best kicker in the NFL. And I love the confidence that Jason Garrett showed by, once we got down by the 30-yard line, we ran 2 runs, 3rd down, 48-yarder, didn't even think about it. Send Dan in, boom, ball game. Dallas Cowboys win. Dan Bailey's still the best kicker in the NFL. So, and then Tony Romo. Other than that short arm pick, I don't know what he was looking at there near the goal line in the 3rd quarter. But Tony Romo has bought in to the style of play for these Dallas Cowboys. And I think he likes it. I think he loves the fact that he finally has a real, legitimate threat of a running game where he is no longer the focus every single play of the defense. And he's that much more deadly whenever he makes those play-action plays for the Dallas Cowboys. You really are seeing him really show what he's made of as a leader and as a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So, look, Houston had a chance there because Dallas kept him in the ball game, and I give Arian Foster a lot of credit. Arian Foster won this ball game, and I don't understand. In overtime, Arian Foster's killing us in the fourth quarter. Overtime hits. He's having an awesome game. He starts off overtime with a 24-yard run. Then he breaks off a 10-yarder. Then like a 6-yarder. It gets to 3rd and 2 near the 50. And you line him up at wideout and you have Fitzpatrick try to throw it to him. If they give the ball to Foster, he probably gets that first down, and we may be having a different conversation right now in this video. But they decided to let Fitz throw it. It's kind of like last week when the Saints are trying to make a comeback against Dallas, and it's 4th and 11, and instead of having one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Drew Brees, try to convert it, you try to trick play it and have your punter try to make the throw. Just let your best player make the plays they should. But hey, I'm perfectly fine with the decision making because the Cowboys won. But even with all that, big win for the Dallas Cowboys. Just really exciting to see what it's going to be. And now you go to Seattle. I think a lot of people have talked about that game being a mulligan game, where if the Cowboys lose, it's no big deal. This is a game that the Cowboys need to win and try to find a way to win at Seattle. Because right now they're 4-1. They have one of the best records in the league right now. But every team that they've beaten, you can make the argument, has been subpar or not upper echelon, anything like that, had their own problems. You beat Seattle. In Seattle, we're having a whole different conversation right now about this team. As it stands right now, 4-1, great start for the Dallas Cowboys. Excited. Going back, and for the Texans, for the college football guys, got the Texas Longhorns losing to Baylor on Saturday. Sorry I didn't get a video out for that. Like I said, I was in Chicago at a wedding. I didn't really get to watch the game. I kind of watched my phone when I could. Pretty much quick recap. Texas defense is fine. They held in there. But the offense is not good at all. And it had a lot to do with suspensions and injuries, but also just not having the personnel and not knowing what to do right now. So Baylor wins. They're better than they are, 28-7. Proud of the defense. Offense is bad. But we'll talk more about that when we go into OU coming up on Saturday. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on the Cowboys because they can take away the sting of the Texas Longhorns. Seattle next week. Can they pull it off? We'll find out. But after winning this ball game here in the battle for Texas, love that as well. How about them Cowboys? See you guys next time.